In the world of business, being good isn't enough. You have to be different or better in a way that lasts. Today, we're breaking down Michael Porter's generic strategies, the foundational framework for how companies actually win in their markets. Let's start with a fundamental truth from our model. Price and quality travel together. Generally, a higher price implies higher quality, while a lower price typically signals lower quality. Your strategy depends on where you decide to set on this spectrum. Porter identified two main sources of market scope. Are you targeting everyone, which is broad, or a specific niche, narrow? In addition, Porter identified two main sources of advantage, low cost or uniqueness. When you combine these with your market scope, whether you're targeting everyone, broad, or specific niche, narrow, you get four distinct strategies. There is one that you never want to be in, stuck in the middle. This happens when a company tries to do everything, be low cost and high quality at the same time without a clear focus. This leads to a diluted brand and zero competitive advantage. Michael Porter identified four generic ways to gain competitive advantage. You can choose to be the low-cost leader or uniquely different, and you can target a broad market or a narrow niche. Let's see how this looks on the soda aisle. Cost leadership. This is the broad, low-price play. Think of store brand colas. They appeal to the mass market by being the cheapest option on the shelf. The low-cost strategy still requires the producer to earn a profit and receive acceptable margins. They don't become low-cost providers by simply cutting the price. The expense side is key, limited distribution and no advertising. Differentiation. This is where Coca-Cola lives. They target a broad audience but win through brand uniqueness, a secret formula and massive marketing that makes people perceive it as the premium standard. Cost focus. This is a low-cost strategy for a narrow segment. A brand like Publix focuses on the regional markets or budget-conscious sub-segments, keeping costs low to dominate that specific niche. Differentiation focus. This is one for the soda connoisseur. Think of A&W root beer or craft botanical sodas. They don't try to compete with Coke. They offer a highly unique premium product for a small, very specific group of people. A quick review of the market scope and how it looks at the segment. Here, the segment is soft drinks. This does not include energy drinks, bottled water, or other beverages outside of soft drinks. Cola is the most purchased soft drink, so in a broad market, any cola would compete in the broad market. A question you may ask is, does Coke taste better than Sam's? Well, that's up to the consumer. Coke is perceived to be a higher quality product because the customer is willing to pay more. Why? Because Coke's differentiation strategy includes multiple channels of distribution, significant advertising that lets the customer know what a quality product it is. Sam's, on the other hand, has a limited distribution and zero advertising. The price speaks for itself. A narrow market is any soft drink that is not a cola. This would include A&W root beer, Dr. Pepper, Mountain Dew, and so on. You may ask why Publix Cherry Cola isn't in the broad market. Because it isn't a true cola. It is still niche. Vanilla cola, lemon cola, etc., all the same narrow category. The biggest risk is getting stuck in the middle. This happens when a soda brand isn't cheap enough to be a bargain, but isn't unique enough to be a must-have. Without clear identity, these brands often lose market share to more focused competitors. Think of it as a customer deciding on what soft drink to purchase. If a differentiated product like Coke or A&W root beer costs $2 a bottle and Sam's Cola is 75 cents a can, then you have a clear-cut decision. If another offering has a price point of $1.70 and you haven't heard of it before, then it's stuck in the middle. Too expensive to be pricing value and too expensive to take a risk on not buying Coke or other well-known brand. Whether you're a global giant or a craft startup, you must pick your path. Will you win on price or will you win on being one of a kind? In the beverage business, your strategy is the most important ingredient.